All right, today we're diving into the playbook of this one bootstrapped expert who's figured out how to tackle one of the biggest headaches in e-commerce, and that's chargebacks. It's a total underdog story, expertise versus massive scale, and it's got a super powerful lesson about how you can win in a really crowded market.
If you've ever sold anything online, you know this email. It's a total gut punch. It's not just about a lost sale. No, it's the start of a fight to keep money you thought was already yours. And honestly, it's a sign of a much, much bigger problem hiding just under the surface.
Okay, so first things first, let's really get a handle on what we're dealing with here. Chargebacks. They're not just some small annoyance. They're this silent killer of your revenue. And a lot of businesses just kind of shrug and accept it as the cost of doing business. But is it really? Should you just accept it?
I mean, that's the real question, right? While you're busy focusing on marketing, on sales, on all the logistics of running your store, these chargebacks are just quietly draining money right from your bottom line. And it's not just the lost sale. They come with extra fees, they put your payment processing accounts at risk. It's a massive headache.
And let's be super clear about this. A chargeback is not a refund. Not even close. It's a formal, structured dispute process. It's all governed by the big players, Visa, MasterCard. And yeah, it was designed to protect consumers, which is great. But the side effect is that it puts merchants like you on the back foot from the second it happens.
So why do these things even happen? Well, what's fascinating is just how many different reasons there are. It's not always some scammer with a stolen credit card. Nope. It could be a customer who genuinely forgot they signed up for a subscription, or maybe they just felt the product didn't quite look like the pictures online. And this is the absolute key takeaway. Every single one of these reasons needs a totally different defense strategy. But here's the good news. This problem isn't impossible to beat. So, how does one person, a single expert, a freelancer, manage to successfully fight and win these things for more than 200 different clients? Well, it all starts with getting your hands dirty with a totally manual approach.
To really get this playbook, you have to get the person behind it. This isn't just a job for our expert. It's a deep-seated obsession. This is the kind of laser focus you only find when someone has poured their entire career into mastering one really complex, really high-stakes field.
And look, the credentials really back it up. We're talking over 10 years of experience, official certifications from the big guys, Visa and MasterCard, the ones who actually write the rules, and a track record so good it made this person the #1 ranked freelancer for this stuff. This isn't textbook knowledge. This is proven, down-in-the-trenches expertise.
Okay, and this right here, this is probably the single biggest mistake that merchants make. They treat every dispute the same. They use this generic, one-size-fits-all response. But think about it. A copy-paste answer for a fraud claim is going to fall flat on its face if the real reason is item not as described. It's literally like trying to use your house key to start your car. It's just not going to work.
So the expert's whole strategy? It really comes down to 3 key things. Number 1, always pay attention to the specific dispute reason code. Number 2, make sure you have solid records of your communication with the customer. And 3, you have to package up your evidence so it's strong, organized, and basically impossible for the person reviewing it to ignore.
And honestly, this little tip is a total game changer. You have to put yourself in the shoes of the reviewer. Imagine being that person, sifting through hundreds of these cases every single day. If you send them a 15-page jumbled up PDF and the best piece of evidence is buried on page 12, you've already lost. Your job is to make their job easy. Make it so easy for them to say yes to you.
So a hands-on strategy like this is super effective. But there's a limit, right? It has a ceiling. When you get this good at something, the demand for your work just explodes. You eventually run out of hours in the day, and that is the classic turning point. That's when you go from being a freelancer to becoming a founder.
I mean, this playbook was so good that it led to over 200 wins for clients. We're talking stores on Shopify, businesses using Stripe, PayPal, you name it. But doing every single one by hand with that much care and detail, that just doesn't scale. So the big question becomes, how do you grow?
And this quote just nails the challenge perfectly. As a small bootstrap player, you're never going to outspend the giants funded with millions of dollars. You just can't. So you have to outthink them. You out-niche them. Instead of trying to be everything to everybody, you go all in on your specific area of expertise and build something that serves your small corner of the world better than anyone else possibly can. So the answer wasn't to hire a huge team. It wasn't to work 24/7 and burn out. The real solution was to take all of that hard-won manual expertise and translate it into a tool that could scale, to literally turn a decade of hands-on experience into code.
And this is what they ended up building, a Shopify app that for all intents and purposes is the expert's brain inside a machine. It completely automates that winning playbook we talked about. It gathers the right evidence, it tailors the response to the exact reason code, and it submits a clean, powerful rebuttal. The whole thing is driven by the exact same logic that has won these cases time and time again. But here's the absolute masterstroke, the pricing model. It's completely success-based. You only pay if they win your case. Now, this isn't just some clever marketing trick. It's the ultimate show of confidence. It's basically saying to merchants, look, we are so sure our method works that we're willing to bet our own paycheck on it.
All right, this brings us to our final section, and honestly, it might be the most important takeaway of all. In a world that's just racing toward AI and automating everything, what's the real advantage of having an expert's touch behind the scenes?
This question really gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, AI is incredibly powerful, but sometimes it just lacks context. It lacks, well, plain old common sense. An AI is great at following rules, but these disputes are often messy human problems. They need a level of intuition that an algorithm just hasn't quite figured out yet.
And this ridiculous story about the 5.2-meter-long cow, it illustrates the point perfectly. An AI, if you feed it some wonky data, might logically conclude that a cow is the length of a stretch limo, but any human, you, me, we look at that and immediately know something is seriously wrong. That instinct, that gut check, that common sense to just know when the data doesn't reflect reality, that is absolutely priceless.
So at the end of the day, this isn't a story about choosing common sense over technology. It's about making technology better with common sense. This app is so effective because it's not just blind automation. It's smart automation that's built on a solid foundation of proven human strategies. You really get the best of both worlds, the incredible speed of a machine guided by the hard-won wisdom of a real expert. So, let's end with that question. In a world that's becoming more automated by the second, what's the true value of an expert? Well, maybe this story gives us the answer. Maybe it's not just about what they know anymore. It's about their ability to bake that knowledge into systems that can scale. It's not man versus machine. It's man with machine. And in that partnership, deep human expertise might just be the ultimate, unbeatable competitive advantage.